The ship made a terrible sound as it fell from the sky. Metal screamed against metal. Sparks flew from the broken engines. Inside the small craft, Tay gripped his sister's hand so hard his claws left marks on her skin. "Hold on!" Minji shouted over the noise. The ground rushed up to meet them. Trees, rocks, a frozen lake. Then everything went dark. When Tay opened his eyes, his head hurt. Smoke filled the cabin. He coughed and looked around. The control panel was destroyed. Wires hung from the ceiling like dead vines. Through the cracked window he could see snow. "Lots of snow. Minji?" His voice was small and scared. "I'm here." She was trapped under a fallen seat. Blood ran down her forehead. Her left arm hung at a bad angle. Tay pushed the seat off her with shaking hands. His sister tried to stand but fell. Her leg was hurt too. They were in bad shape. "Very bad shape, the beacon," Minji said through her pain. "We need to activate the distress beacon." Tay crawled to the emergency panel. His fingers found the right button. A small light turned green. The beacon was working. Help would come. But what kind of help? They were in an uncharted sector. This planet wasn't on any Veltar maps. Who would find them first? The cold came next. It crept through the broken hull like an animal hunting prey. Tay's fur stood up. His breath made clouds in the air. Minji shivered against him. Their species came from a warm world. They had never felt cold like this. Hours passed. Maybe days. Tay couldn't tell. He tried to keep his sister warm. He wrapped her in his coat. He held her close. But it wasn't enough. The cold was winning, then he heard it. A sound outside, footsteps in the snow. Tay's ears went flat against his head. His prey instincts screamed at him to hide. Something was coming, something big. The footsteps came closer. 2 sets of feet. Heavy boots crunching through ice and snow. Tay pulled Minji deeper into the wreckage. His heart beat so fast it hurt. A voice came from outside. Speaking a language he didn't know, but his translator chip caught it after a moment. "See anything?" "Yeah, small craft. Veltar design by the look of it." "Any survivors?" Scanning now. 2 life signs, both weak. Tay's blood turned to ice. Not from the cold, from fear. He knew those voices. He knew what they meant. Humans. The door to their ship tore open with a screech of metal. Light flooded in. Tay squeezed his eyes shut. When he opened them again, he saw 2 figures standing in the doorway. They were exactly as the stories described. Tall, strong, eyes facing forward like all predators. Their faces were bare of fur. Their teeth were hidden behind lips, but Tay knew they were there. Flat teeth for plants, sharp teeth for meat. Omnivores, the most dangerous kind. The first human stepped inside. He was tall with dark hair. His eyes scanned the wreckage until they found Tay and Minji. Those eyes, forward-facing, hunter's eyes. "Hey there," the human said softly. "We're here to help." "My name is Hyun." Tay pressed himself against his sister. His body shook. Not from cold now, from pure terror. The second human appeared behind the first. She was smaller but no less frightening. Her eyes were just as forward-facing, just as predatory. "They're scared, Hyun," she said. "Look at them. They're terrified." "I know, Ji-won, but we need to get them warm. They're freezing." Hyun reached for something on his belt. Tay hissed. It was an involuntary sound, the sound prey makes when cornered. The human stopped moving. "It's okay," Hyun said. "It's just a thermal blanket." "See?" He pulled out a silver package, tore it open. A large blanket unfolded in his hands. It shimmered in the light. "This will keep you warm," Hyun said. He took a step forward. Tay hissed again. Louder this time. His claws came out. He positioned himself in front of Minji. If these predators wanted his sister, they would have to go through him first. Hyun stopped. He looked at Ji-won. Something passed between them. Some predator communication that Tay couldn't understand. "They won't take it from us," Ji-won said. "They're too scared." "They'll freeze if they don't," Hyun replied. His voice was frustrated. "The temperature is dropping. They won't survive the night without heat. Maybe if we back away, leave it near them. And if they still won't take it? What then?" Tay watched this exchange with growing fear. The humans were arguing. Their voices were getting louder, more aggressive. This was it. This was how it happened. Predators always fought before the kill. They established dominance, decided who got the prey. Hyun took another step forward. The blanket was still in his hands. "Please," he said. "Just take it. We're not going to hurt you." But Tay didn't believe him. How could he? Every story he'd ever heard about humans said the same thing. They were killers, the apex predators of their world. They had climbed to the top of their food chain by being smarter and more dangerous than everything else, and now two of them were here. In his broken ship. Between him and his injured sister, Minji made a small sound behind him. She was getting weaker. The cold was taking her. Tay could feel her body temperature dropping. She needed that blanket. She needed heat. But taking it from the predators felt like accepting their terms. Like becoming their prey. I have an idea, Jiwon said. She started taking off her coat. What are you doing? Hyun asked. If they won't take the blanket, maybe they'll feel safer if we're less threatening. She threw her coat to the side. Now she wore only a thin shirt. Tay could see her breath in the cold air. She was making herself vulnerable, but why? What predator made itself weak in front of prey? Jiwon, you'll freeze, Hyun said. So will they. Hyun shook his head, but he laid the blanket on the ground between them and the aliens. Then he stepped back. Both humans moved away from the blanket, away from Tay and Minji. There, Hyun said. It's yours if you want it. We'll stay over here. Tay stared at the blanket. It was so close, just a few feet away. But between him and it were the humans, watching, waiting. Was this a trap? A way to make him come out of hiding? Behind him, Minji's shivering got worse. She was running out of time. The humans sat down in the snow. They were still watching. But they weren't moving closer. Jiwon wrapped her arms around herself. She was cold too. Tay could see it. Why weren't they taking the blanket for themselves? If they were predators, if they were dangerous, why were they offering warmth to their prey? Nothing made sense. Every instinct Tay had told him to run, to hide, to protect his sister from the monsters at the door. But Minji was dying. And the blanket was right there. The night was coming. The cold was getting worse. And Tay had to make a choice. The cold was getting worse. Jiwon could feel it in her bones now. She had been stupid to take off her coat. But the aliens were so scared, she thought maybe being less threatening would help. Instead, they just huddled together and stared with wide, terrified eyes. This isn't working, Hyun said beside her. His voice was tight with worry. They're not taking the blanket. I can see that. Jiwon, you're shaking. Put your coat back on. Not until they take the blanket. That's stupid. You'll freeze. So will they. Hyun made a frustrated sound. He stood up and started pacing. His boots made deep prints in the snow. Jiwon watched the aliens flinch with every step he took. The smaller one, the male, hissed again. His claws were still out. Stop moving, Jiwon said. You're scaring them more. I'm trying to think, Hyun snapped back. We can't just sit here and watch them die. What else can we do? If we get closer, they panic. If we try to touch them, that one will probably attack. Then what's your plan? Wait until they trust us? That could take hours. They don't have hours. Jiwon knew he was right. She could see the female alien getting weaker. Her eyes were closing. Her body wasn't shivering anymore. That was a bad sign. When the shivering stopped, it meant the body was giving up. Maybe we should call for backup, Jiwon suggested. Get a Veltar representative. Someone they'll trust. The nearest Veltar ship is 3 days away. Look at them. They don't have 3 days. Hyun was right again. Jiwon hated when he was right. She stood up too. Her legs felt weak. The cold was really getting to her now. She shouldn't have taken off her coat. That was a mistake. Give me the coat, Hyun said. No. Jiwon, don't be stupid. You're human. You can handle cold better than they can, but not without proper gear. I said no. Why are you being stubborn about this? Because they need to see we're not a threat. If I put the coat back on, if we take care of ourselves first, they'll think we don't care about them. Hyun's face changed. His expression got harder, colder. So your plan is to freeze to death to prove a point? My plan is to show them we're trying to help. By dying? That's a terrible plan. Their voices were getting louder. Jiwon realized it too late. She was shouting. Hyun was shouting back. And the aliens were watching with absolute terror in their eyes. Stop yelling, she said, quieter now. You stop yelling, Hyun shot back. But he lowered his voice too. They stood there in the snow, staring at each other. Both of them were cold. Both of them were frustrated. And neither of them knew what to do. I'm sorry, Hyun said finally. I'm just worried. About them. About you, I know. I'm sorry too. But the damage was done. The aliens looked even more scared now. The male was making a low sound in his throat. Not quite a growl, more like a whimper. Jiwan's heart hurt. She didn't want to scare them. She wanted to help, but everything they did just made it worse. What if, Hyun said slowly, what if we use the blanket ourselves? Show them it's safe? You think that will work? I don't know, but we're running out of options. Hyun picked up the blanket from the ground. The male alien hissed immediately. His body tensed. Ready to fight or run, it's okay, Hyun said softly. We're not coming closer, look, see? He shook out the blanket. It was large, big enough for several people. The silver material caught the fading light. Then Hyun wrapped it around his shoulders. Warm, he said. He made an exaggerated show of it, rubbing his arms, smiling. Very warm, safe. Jiwon understood what he was doing. He was trying to show them the blanket wasn't dangerous, that it would help, not hurt. Come here, Hyun said to Jiwon. Share with me. She walked over to him. He opened the blanket and wrapped it around both of them. The heat hit her immediately. It was like standing next to a fire. The thermal blanket was working perfectly. Her shivering began to slow, see? Hyun called to the aliens. It's good. It helps. But the aliens weren't convinced. They just watched. The female was barely conscious now. Her head rested on her brother's shoulder. Her eyes were half closed. This isn't working either, Jiwon said quietly. I know. She's dying. I know. Hyun's voice was sad. Defeated. Jiwon felt it too. They were rescuers. Trained professionals. They had saved dozens of beings from dozens of species, but they couldn't save these two. Not because they lacked the tools or the knowledge, but because the aliens were too afraid to accept help. Maybe, Jiwon said carefully, maybe we should try to grab them, force them into the blanket. They'll fight. The male might hurt himself. Or us. But at least they'll be warm. Hyun was quiet for a long moment, thinking. Then he shook his head. No. If we force them, if we make them feel trapped, they might die from fear before the cold gets them. I've read about it. Some species can literally die from too much stress. So we do nothing. We wait, we hope. We pray if you believe in that. Jiwon didn't believe in prayer. She believed in action. In doing something, anything, but what could they do? She pulled the blanket tighter around herself and Hyun. The warmth was nice. It made her feel guilty. She was warm, safe, protected, and the aliens were dying just a few feet away. Tell me about them, she said. About the Veltar. Distract me, Hyun sighed. Herbivores. From a world with no large predators, they evolved to be fast, good at hiding. Their entire civilization is built around avoiding conflict. And then they meet us. Yeah. We must seem like their worst nightmare. Forward-facing eyes, omnivore teeth, pack hunters, everything their instincts tell them to fear. But we're not dangerous. Not to them. Try telling them that. Their instincts don't care about logic. They see us and every part of their brain screams danger. Jiwon felt sadness wash over her. It wasn't fair. They were trying so hard to help. But biology was against them. Evolution was against them. Millions of years of prey instincts couldn't be overcome in a few hours. The sun was setting now. The temperature was dropping fast. Soon it would be well below freezing. The aliens wouldn't survive. Even if they took the blanket now, it might be too late. Hyun's body was warm against hers. The blanket held their heat. She could feel his heartbeat. Steady, strong, human hearts were tough. Built for endurance. For surviving, she looked at his face. He was staring at the aliens. His expression was sad, worried, frustrated, all at once. I hate this, he said quietly. Me too. We should be able to help. That's our job. We help people. I know. But we can't. Because they're too scared. Too scared to let us help them. His voice cracked a little. Jiwon had known Hyun for 3 years. Worked with him on dozens of missions. She had never heard his voice sound like that. So broken. So defeated. She squeezed his hand under the blanket. We tried, she said. We did everything we could. It's not enough. I know. They sat in silence as the sun disappeared. The sky turned purple, then black. Stars came out, bright and cold and distant. Jiwon's eyes felt heavy. The warmth of the blanket was making her sleepy. She tried to fight it. Tried to stay awake. But her body was exhausted. The cold had taken a lot out of her. Jiwon? Hyun's voice sounded far away. Yeah? Stay awake. You need to stay awake. I'm trying. But she wasn't. Her eyes closed. Her head fell onto Hyun's shoulder. The last thing she heard was his voice calling her name. Then everything went dark. Panic hit Hyun like a physical blow. Jiwon's head was heavy on his shoulder. Her breathing was shallow. Too shallow. Jiwon. He shook her gently. Then harder. Jiwon, wake up! She didn't respond. Her skin was cold, too cold. The blanket wasn't enough. She had been outside in the freezing air too long. First without her coat, then with it off completely. She had given up her warmth to show the aliens they were safe. Now she was paying the price. No, 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 Hyun muttered. His hands moved fast. He laid her down in the snow. Checked her pulse. It was there but weak. Her breathing was slow. Her lips had a blue tint, hypothermia. Stage 2, maybe stage 3. He needed to warm her up. Fast. Hyun pulled the thermal blanket tighter around them both. He positioned his body over hers. Trying to share his heat, his body temperature was higher than hers right now. He could help. He had to help. Come on, Jiwon, he said. His voice was desperate. Don't do this. Stay with me. He rubbed her arms, her legs, trying to get blood flowing, trying to generate heat. The blanket trapped the warmth between them. That was good. But it wasn't enough. Her coat. Where was her coat? Hyun looked around, there, a few feet away. Where she had thrown it. He lunged for it. His hands closed around the fabric. He dragged it back and tucked it around her. More layers. More insulation. You're going to be okay, he told her. He wasn't sure if he was lying. You're going to be fine. Behind him he heard a sound. A small whimper. He had forgotten about the aliens. They were still there. Still watching. Still too scared to help themselves. Hyun turned to look at them. His face must have looked wild, desperate, because the male alien pressed himself back against the wall. His eyes were wide. She did this for you, Hyun said. His voice came out harsh, angry. She took off her coat to make you feel safe. And now she might die, because you were too scared to accept help. The words poured out. He knew the aliens might not understand. Their translators might not catch the emotion, the meaning, but he didn't care. He was angry, scared, frustrated. We came here to save you, he continued. That's all we wanted, to help. But you looked at us and saw monsters, predators, something to fear. And maybe you're right. Maybe we are predators. But we're also more than that. We're capable of kindness, of sacrifice, of caring about someone we just met. He turned back to Jiwon. Her breathing was still too shallow. He pressed his ear to her chest. Her heartbeat was there. Slow but steady, please, he whispered. Please be okay. Time passed. Hyun didn't know how much. He focused everything on keeping Jiwon warm. His body wrapped around hers, the blanket cocooning them both. He talked to her. Nonsense words, stories, anything to keep himself awake, to keep hope alive. Remember the mission on Kepler Station? He said. When you bet me I couldn't eat those purple things. What were they called? Glorp berries? And I ate 5 of them just to prove you wrong, then spent the next day in the medical bay. He laughed. It sounded broken even to his own ears. You sat with me, the whole time. Even though I was an idiot, even though I deserved to be sick, you stayed. His vision was blurring. Tears? When had he started crying? So I'm staying now, with you until you wake up, and you will wake up. You have to. More time passed. The cold was seeping into Hyun now. Despite the blanket, despite the coat, despite everything, his fingers were numb. His face hurt. The temperature was still dropping. He thought about calling for emergency extraction. Their ship was in orbit. They could be here in 20 minutes. But 20 minutes in this cold might be too long. For Jiwon, for the aliens, maybe this was it. Maybe this was how it ended. Frozen on an unnamed planet, trying to save people who didn't want to be saved. Then Jiwon moved. It was small. Just a twitch of her fingers. But Hyun saw it. Jiwon? His voice was full of hope. Her eyes opened. Slowly. Confused. Hyun? Yes, it's me. How do you feel? Cold, she whispered. So cold, I know. But you're okay. You're going to be okay. He held her tighter. Relief flooded through him. She was awake. She was talking. That was good. That was very good. What happened? She asked. You passed out. Hypothermia. But you're warming up now. Just stay still. Stay in the blanket. The aliens? Still scared. Still alive, barely. Jiwon tried to sit up. Hyun pushed her back down gently. Don't move. You need to rest when we have to help them. We tried. They won't let us. We have to try again. Jiwon, you almost died. But I didn't. And they will if we don't do something. Hyun wanted to argue, wanted to tell her to stop being so stubborn. But he knew that look in her eyes. She wasn't going to give up, even if it killed her. Okay, he said. What do you suggest? The blanket. It's big enough for all of us. We show them. We invite them in. We tried that. Not like this. Not when it matters. They saw you panic when I collapsed. They saw you care. Maybe that changed something. Hyun doubted it. But what other choice did they have? He helped Jiwon sit up. She was still weak, still shaking, but she was determined. Together they opened the blanket wide, creating a space, a warm pocket of air and safety. Please, Jiwon called to the aliens. Her voice was soft, gentle. Join us. There's room. There's warmth. We're not going to hurt you. I promise. The male alien stared at them. His sister was unconscious now, completely unresponsive. Time had run out for her. She's dying, Hyun said bluntly. Your sister. She doesn't have much time. Minutes, maybe. But we can save her. We can save you both. You just have to trust us. The alien's eyes moved from Hyun to Jiwon, back to Hyun, then down to his sister. Hyun could see the struggle on his face. Fear versus love. Instinct versus reason. We're predators, Hyun said quietly. You're right about that. But we're also pack animals. We protect our pack. And right now you're part of our pack, whether you like it or not. He meant it. Every word. These aliens had crashed on this planet. They had sent a distress call. That made them Hyun's responsibility, his pack, his to protect. The alien made a decision. Hyun saw it in his eyes. The fear was still there. But something else too. Desperation, hope, trust. Slowly, carefully, the alien stood up. He lifted his sister in his arms. She was limp, barely breathing. He took one step toward the humans, then another. His whole body shook, not from cold, from fear. But he kept walking. Hyun's heart pounded. That's it, come on. Just a little closer. Another step. Another. The alien reached the edge of the blanket. He stopped. His eyes were wide. His breathing fast. It's okay, Jiwon said. She smiled. A real smile. Warm and genuine. Come in. There's plenty of room. The alien took the final step. He entered the blanket. Hyun and Jiwon immediately wrapped it around all four of them. The alien flinched. His claws came out. But he didn't run. Easy, Hyun said. We've got you. We've got you both. He could feel the alien's body. It was so cold, like ice. His sister was even worse. Hyun positioned them carefully. The warmest spot was in the center. Between him and Jiwon. That's where the aliens needed to be. Here, Jiwon said. She took off her coat again. Before Hyun could protest, she wrapped it around the female alien. For her, she needs it more than me. The male alien stared at Jiwon. His expression was unreadable, but his claws retracted, slowly. Back into his hands, they sat like that. Four beings under one blanket. Two predators, two prey. Sharing warmth, sharing space, sharing trust. My name is Tae, the alien said suddenly. His voice was quiet, scared, but he spoke. This is Minji, my sister. Hyun replied. This is Jiwon. You argued, Tae said. Before you fought. I thought you were deciding who gets to eat us. Hyun's heart broke a little. No, we were arguing about how to help you. We were worried, frustrated, but never about hurting you. Your friend Jiwon, she got sick. Because of us. She got sick because she cares. That's what humans do. We care. Sometimes too much. Tae was quiet for a long time. Then he said, Predators don't care about prey. Maybe not where you're from, Jiwon said softly. But humans are different. We're predators, yes, but we're also friends, helpers, protectors. We choose to be more than our nature. The blanket held them close. 4 hearts beating, 4 lives warming. Outside the night was dark and cold and endless. But inside the blanket there was heat. There was hope. There was the beginning of something neither species had expected. Understanding. The night was long and cold. Inside the blanket, 4 beings huddled together. Slowly, warmth returned. Blood began to flow. Fingers and toes started to feel again. Minji was the first concern. She was still unconscious. Her breathing was weak, but Hyun could feel her body temperature rising. The blanket was working. The shared heat was working. Will she be okay? Tae asked. His voice was small. Scared. I think so, Hyun replied honestly. Her vital signs are improving. But we need to keep her warm. Keep her stable. I don't understand, Tae said. Why are you doing this? We're nothing to you. We're not your species. Not your pack. Ji-won shifted slightly. She was still weak from her own hypothermia, but she was recovering. We're doing this because it's right. Because you needed help. That's enough reason. But you're predators. Yes, Hyun said. We are. Humans evolved as hunters. We ate meat. We tracked prey. We killed to survive. But we also evolved something else. Empathy. The ability to care about others, even those who aren't like us. Tae was quiet, thinking. His body was still tense, still ready to run. But he hadn't run. That was progress. On our world, Tae said slowly, predators only care about their own kind. A hunting bird doesn't help a mouse. A big cat doesn't save a deer. Nature is clear, simple. Human nature is complicated, Ji-won said. Yes, we hunt. Yes, we can be dangerous. But we also build hospitals. We rescue strangers. We care for animals that can't give us anything in return. We choose to be better than our base instincts. That sounds exhausting, Tae said. Hyun laughed. It was a real laugh, genuine. It is. Being human is very exhausting. We argue about the right thing to do. We make mistakes. We try to fix them. We care too much about too many things. Is that why you argued? Before, about us? Yes, Ji-won said. Hyun wanted to give you space. Respect your fear. I wanted to force you to accept help. Keep you alive. Both of us were right. Both of us were wrong. That's very human too. Tae's ears twitched. A sign of thought in his species. We were taught about humans in school. They said you were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. They said you conquered your world completely, killed everything that threatened you, turned your planet into your domain. That's true, Hyun admitted. We did do that. Humans are very good at surviving, at adapting, at conquering. But we also protect, we preserve, we try to fix the damage we caused. We're working to save species we almost destroyed, to heal ecosystems we broke. Why? Tae asked. If you're so powerful, why care about the weak? Because power without compassion is just cruelty, Ji-won said. We learned that the hard way. Humans have done terrible things. To each other. To other species. To our world. We're not perfect. Not even close. But we try to be better. Every day. We try. Minji stirred slightly. A small sound escaped her lips. Tae immediately focused on his sister. His hands moved to her face, checking, worrying. She's waking up, Hyun said. That's good. Very good. Minji's eyes opened slowly. She looked confused, disoriented. Her gaze moved around. Saw her brother. Saw the blanket. Then saw the humans. She panicked. Her body went rigid. A scream built in her throat. Minji, no! Tae said quickly. It's okay. They're helping us. They're safe, but Minji wasn't listening. Her instincts had taken over. She tried to pull away, to escape. Her injured arm screamed in pain. She cried out. Easy, Hyun said. He didn't move toward her. Didn't try to restrain her. Just kept his voice calm, steady. You're hurt. Your arm is broken. Your leg too. If you move too fast, you'll make it worse. Minji's eyes were wild, full of fear. She looked at her brother. Tae, what's happening? Where are we? We crashed, Tae explained. Remember? The ship went down. We were freezing. These humans came to help. Humans. Minji's voice was pure terror. Predators. Tae, they're predators, I know. But they're not hurting us. Look, we're sharing their blanket. They gave you their coat. They saved us. Minji stared at the coat wrapped around her, then at the blanket covering them all. Her breathing was fast, panicked. But slowly she began to calm down. To process, they saved us? She repeated, yes, why? It was the same question Tae had asked. The same question that didn't make sense to their species. Why would predators save prey? Ji-won smiled softly. Because that's what people do. Real people. Good people. They help when help is needed. Minji's eyes filled with tears. I was so scared. I thought we were going to die. I thought the cold was going to take us. It almost did. Hyun said gently, but you're okay now. You're safe. We're going to get you medical treatment. Fix your arm, your leg. Get you home. Home, Minji whispered. The words seemed to break something in her. The tears fell. She cried. Her brother held her. And inside the blanket, the humans gave them space, gave them privacy, gave them the dignity of their fear and relief. Time passed. The tears stopped. Minji pulled herself together. She looked at Hyun, then at Jiwon. Really looked. Not with fear. With curiosity. Your eyes, she said. They face forward. Like all hunters. Yes, Hyun said. But you're not hunting us? No. I don't understand. Every instinct I have says to run from you. To fear you. But you've done nothing but help. Instincts are important, Jiwon said. They keep you alive. But they're not always right. Not in every situation. Your instincts tell you we're dangerous. And yes, we can be. But we choose not to be. Not to you. Choice, Minji said slowly. You choose to be kind. Every day, Jiwon confirmed. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's hard. But we choose, Tae spoke up. When Jiwon collapsed. When she got sick. I saw Hyun's face. He was terrified. The way he held her. Protected her. I've never seen a predator do that. Love, Hyun said simply. We care about each other. Jiwon is my partner, my friend. She's important to me. When she was in danger, nothing else mattered. Not even us? Tae asked. In that moment? No, I'm sorry. But I had to save her first. She's my pack. Pack, Minji repeated. Like family. Exactly like family. The aliens exchanged a look. Some communication between siblings that needed no words. Then Tae said, we have a saying on our world. The hunter does not cry for the hunted, but you do. You cry, you care, you save. You're not like the stories. Most people aren't, Jiwon said. Stories simplify, make things black and white. But real life is complicated, full of gray areas. Humans are predators, yes, but we're also much more. We're artists, scientists, teachers, parents, friends. We contain multitudes. Multitudes, Minji said. She smiled a little. That's a nice word. The night continued. Outside, the wind howled. The temperature dropped even lower. But inside the blanket, they were warm. They talked. Told stories. The humans told about Earth. About cities and oceans and mountains. About the diversity of life. About humanity's long journey from caves to stars. The Veltar told about their world. About fields that stretched forever. About cities built into trees. About a civilization that chose peace over conflict. About art and music and philosophy. They found common ground. Love of family. Appreciation of beauty. Desire for knowledge. Fear of death. Hope for the future. We're not so different, Tae said at one point. When you take away the fear. The instincts. We want the same things. Most species do, Hyun said. That's what we've learned. In all our years exploring space. Meeting new people. Everyone wants to survive. To be happy, to be safe. The details are different. But the core desires are the same. I wish we'd known that, Minji said sadly. Before we crashed. Before we were so scared. We wasted so much time being afraid. Fear is natural, Jiwon said. Don't regret it. You survived. You learned. That's what matters. Dawn started to break. Light crept across the snow. The long night was ending. Hyun checked his communicator. Help was on the way. A medical team. Proper supplies. Everything they needed. Our rescue team will be here soon, he announced. They'll take care of you. Get you fixed up. Will you come with us? Tae asked. To the medical ship? If you want us to, Hyun said. Yes, Minji said firmly. Yes, we want you there. You saved our lives. You're our pack now, too, if that's okay. Jiwon's eyes got a little watery. That's very okay. We'd be honored. The blanket was warm. The morning was coming. And under the silver thermal material, 4 beings sat close. Different species. Different worlds. Different natures. But connected now. By survival, by choice. By the simple act of sharing warmth when warmth was needed most. The rescue ship arrived with the sunrise. It descended through pink and orange clouds. Landing gear touched down on the snow with a soft hiss. The door opened and a medical team rushed out. They brought stretchers, equipment, medicine. Everything needed to help the injured Veltar. But when they reached the crash site, they stopped, stared. Because there, under a silver thermal blanket, sat 2 humans and 2 aliens, together, peaceful, like old friends. Well, the medical officer said, this is different. Hyun stood up carefully. His legs were stiff from sitting so long. They need medical attention. The female has a broken arm and leg. The male has minor injuries. Both suffered from severe hypothermia. The medical team moved forward, but Minji flinched back. Her fear returning, Tae put a protective arm around his sister. It's okay, Jiwon said quickly. These are doctors, healers, they're here to help. Are they human? Minji asked quietly. The medical officer stepped forward. She was tall, blue skin, 4 arms, definitely not human. No, dear. I'm Keldon. My people are herbivores like yours. You're safe with me. Minji relaxed a little. She let the Keldon doctor approach. Let her examine the injuries. The doctor worked quickly, efficiently, setting bones, administering pain medication, stabilizing both patients. They'll be fine, the doctor announced. But they need proper treatment on the ship. Surgery for the arm, physical therapy for the leg. Full recovery will take time. Can the humans come? Tae asked suddenly. Hyun and Jiwon, can they come with us? The doctor looked surprised. You want the humans to come? Yes. Most Veltar are scared of humans. No offense, she added, looking at Hyun and Jiwon. None taken, Hyun said. We know our reputation. These humans are different, Minji said firmly. They saved us. They're our friends. Our pack. The doctor's eyes widened. Pack was a human word, a human concept. Hearing it from a Veltar was unusual, significant. Of course they can come, the doctor said, if that's what you want. They loaded the Veltar onto stretchers, carried them to the ship. Hyun and Jiwon followed. They left the crash site behind. The broken ship, the snow, the place where they had spent the longest night of their lives. Inside the medical ship it was warm, clean, bright. Minji and Tai were taken to separate rooms. Medical staff swarmed around them, scanning, testing, treating. Hyun and Jiwon sat in the waiting area. They were tired, emotionally drained, but alive. Everyone was alive. We did it, Jiwon said quietly. We actually did it. You almost died doing it, Hyun pointed out, but I didn't and they're alive. That's what matters, Hyun wanted to argue. To tell her she had been reckless, stupid. But he knew it wouldn't matter. Jiwon had made her choice. She would make it again. That's who she was. You're impossible, he said instead. Thank you. They sat in silence, comfortable silence. The kind that comes from years of working together, of trusting each other, of being pack. Hours passed. Doctors came and went. Finally, the Keldon medical officer approached them. They're going to be fine, she said. Full recovery expected. The surgeries went well. They're resting now. Can we see them? Jiwon asked. Soon, but first I have questions. What happened out there? The Veltar were terrified when we found their distress signal. Standard procedure would be to send a Veltar ship, or at least a non-predator species. But you two went, why? We were closest, Hyun said simply. They needed help. We could provide it. That's the job. And they accepted your help? Despite their fear? Eventually, Jiwon said. It took time, trust, and almost dying from hypothermia. The doctor shook her head in amazement. I've worked with humans before. You people are either the bravest or the stupidest species in the galaxy. Maybe both. Definitely both, Hyun agreed with a smile. They were allowed to visit after the aliens woke up. Minji's room first. She was propped up in bed. Her arm was in a cast. Her leg was elevated, but she was smiling. You came? She said when she saw them. Of course we came, Jiwon said. We told you. Pack stays together. Minji's eyes got watery. I talked to my parents. On the communication system, I told them what happened. About the crash. About you. About everything. What did they say? Hyun asked. They want to meet you. They said any human who would risk their life for their children is welcome in our home. Always. Jiwon had to look away. She was crying. Actually crying. Hyun put a hand on her shoulder. We would be honored, he said for both of them. They visited Tai next. He was in better shape. His injuries had been minor, but he looked thoughtful. Serious. I've been thinking, he said when they entered. About what you said. About choice. About being more than your nature. What about it? Hyun asked. I want to study humans. Understand you better. Maybe help other Veltar understand too. We've been wrong about your species. We judged you by your biology. Your evolution. But that's not who you are. Not really. That's very wise, Ji-won said. Will you help me? Teach me about human culture. Human values. Human ways. Yes, Hyun said immediately. We'll help. Whatever you need, Tae smiled. A real smile. The first one they had seen from him. Thank you. For everything. For saving us. For not giving up. For showing us that predators can be more than just predators. They stayed with the Veltar for 3 days, until they were stable enough to transfer to a Veltar medical facility. During that time they talked. Shared meals. Told stories. Built a friendship that transcended species. On the last day, as they prepared to say goodbye, Minji gave them something. A small pendant. It was made of woven fibers. Traditional Veltar craftsmanship. This is a family marker, she explained. In our culture, we give these to people we consider family. Not by blood, but by choice, by bond. You are our family now. Our pack. Ji-won took the pendant with shaking hands. We'll treasure this, always. And if you ever need anything, Tae added. Anything at all. You call us. Pack helps pack. Hyun felt something in his chest, something warm and full. This is why he did this job. Not for the money, not for the glory. For moments like this. For connections that shouldn't exist but do. We'll call, he promised. And you better call us too. Let us know how you're doing. How the studies are going, everything. We will. They hugged. It was awkward at first. Different body structures. Different comfort levels. But they made it work, because that's what Pack does. The humans left, returned to their ship, continued their mission. But something had changed. They carried the pendant, the memory, the knowledge that they had made a difference. Word spread about what had happened. About 2 humans and 2 Veltar sharing a blanket. Overcoming fear. Building trust. The story traveled across the galaxy, ship to ship, station to station, world to world. Attitudes started to shift. Slowly, carefully. Veltar who heard the story were less afraid, more willing to give humans a chance. Other prey species took note. Maybe predators weren't all bad. Maybe there was room for understanding. 6 months later, Hyun and Ji-won received a message. It was from Tae. He had finished his preliminary studies, written a paper. It was called Beyond Instinct, the Human Capacity for Cross-Species Empathy. The paper went viral. It was read by millions, discussed in classrooms, debated in councils. It challenged old assumptions, opened new possibilities. A year after that, Minji visited Earth. She wanted to see the predator homeworld. To understand where humans came from, Hyun and Ji-won gave her a tour, showed her mountains and oceans, cities and forests, the beauty and danger of humanity's origin. It's terrifying, Minji said, standing at the edge of a cliff looking at a vast landscape, but also beautiful. I understand now why you're the way you are. This world made you strong, but also adaptable, capable of seeing beauty and danger, safety in the unknown. Earth is complicated, Ji-won agreed. Just like humans. Just like everyone, Minji said wisely. They stood together. Human and Veltar, predator and prey, friends, family, pack. Back on the ship in Hyun's quarters, the Veltar family pendant hung on the wall. Next to it was a photo, 4 beings under a silver blanket, taken by the rescue team, a moment captured forever. Sometimes, late at night, Hyun would look at that photo, remember the cold, the fear, the desperation, but also the warmth, the trust, the choice to be more than nature intended. Ji-won would find him there sometimes. She never said anything, just stood beside him. Looking at the same photo, remembering the same night, worth it? She would ask. Always, he would reply. And in the silence that followed, they would both think about the 2 aliens who had been so afraid, who had argued with themselves about accepting help from predators, who had finally desperately taken a chance, and about the blanket that had held them all. Human and Veltar, different but equal. Afraid but brave, separate but together. The galaxy was vast, full of species, full of differences, full of fear and misunderstanding. But sometimes in the cold and the dark, When help was needed and given, barriers could break. Bridges could form. And predators and prey could share a blanket, could become pack, could become family, not because they had to, but because they chose to. And choice, as the humans had shown, was the most powerful force in the universe, more powerful than instinct, more lasting than fear, more important than any difference biology could create. Choice was what made people people. Whether human or Veltar, whether predator or prey, whether from Earth or from worlds unknown, the choice to help, to trust, to be more, that was the real story. The real lesson,